Hello everyone and welcome. My name is Rafia Ali and this is our Youth Icon Award for 2021 in Social Services, sponsored by YUVA, Youth for Unique and Visionary Action. Today we have a very special guest with us, Mr. Bajrang Saharan. First of all, I want to congratulate you for becoming an icon for the youth, for your commendable service, for helping the needy in the pandemic.
Thanks a lot, Rafia.
Absolutely. It's absolutely incredible the amount of work and the contribution that you've made to supporting the needy in terms of providing them food and medical attention. You're setting quite an example for the rest of us. So I want to jump right in and ask you, who is Bajrang Saharan? Can you tell us about your family and background?
Thanks, Rafia. Firstly, I would to express my earnest gratitude to you, your team, YUVA, Youth for Unique and Visionary Action, for honoring me with this prestigious award, Youth Icon Year of the Year 2021. Talking about me, I am son of retired defense professional. My father was in defense and he has served for this country for more than 32 years. I belongs to the divine land of Guru Gorakhnath and Gogaji. I belongs to a very small village of Rajasthan, and I would give all credit to my parents, my first teachers, for inculcating the humanitarian values in me since my childhood, because of which I am here today in front of you guys.
And Bajrang, what can you tell me about your educational and professional qualifications?
My father wanted me to be in government services, and that's why he decided to send me to a nearby hostel at the age of 4 only. Since my father was in defense services, I moved to Jammu and Kashmir when I was of 5. Then I have been to various states for my schooling, for completing my schooling, and I did my schooling from Kendriya Vidyalaya and Sainik School. I was fortunate enough to acquainted with the cultural diversity of this country, as cantonment zones had people from across India. Then I graduated from University campus of Jaipur and I did my masters from Gurugram from a premium B school.
Being a successful business entrepreneur, how did this affect the different kinds of social services that you got involved in?
Rafia, I want to reiterate that the seed of humanitarian values and social service was sown in me by my mother since my childhood. And I have enriching experience of ethical values while working with great stalwarts from different or can say from various industries. And during past 1.5 decade, I came in touch with great social personalities which acted as a catalyst, or can say they have oriented me to establish my own NGO named as YUVA Foundation. My foundation is dedicated for welfare of the society. So I keep on trying to make a balance between my business and the social services.
So as I understand, you haven't limited yourself to supporting the needy during the pandemic in Rajasthan. You've promoted computer education for girls, you've built plantations, cultural activities and games, you've worked on the ban on polythene bags. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Rafi, actually, aim of YUVA Foundation is not limited to few things only. Basically, I'm encouraging you towards this society in several manners, or can say in several ways, which will enhance welfare activities, and that results in overall development of the society as individuals and society as a whole. The efforts of YUVA Foundation are quite diverse. Let's begin with the motivation came for this girl's computer education is like when I met a girl who was of 10th standard and she had scored more than 80% but had a minimal computer knowledge, we can say. So that motivated me to create awareness among people over there in interior areas of Rajasthan regarding relevance of computer education in contemporary times. And with the help of YUVA Foundation, we have distributed we have distributed computers in more than 50 government girls' schools. YUVA Foundation, as I have already told you, that we are in some diversification. So we always strive to save this environment as well. As we all know that ozone layer has been depleted day by day, and we are continuously trying to create awareness among people by various social awareness campaign, or we can say various drives, which focuses on minimal use of polybags. We also keep on planting trees Last to last year, we have planted more than 5,100 trees in interior areas of Rajasthan. So, as polybags are harmful for cattle, they have the hazardous results like cancer nowadays. That is the biggest problem. To protect the environment, we keep on, again, I'm saying, we keep on planting every year. And our efforts are not just limited to planting them only. We make sure that these plants are taken care in a proper manner or proper way. As we have witnessed air quality index, especially in metropolitan cities, or can say in Delhi, Bombay, and in other cities. So, in recent years, we have planted more than approximate 10,000 plants. And so, in the past 1.5 years, we have realized how important oxygen is after this COVID pandemic. So, I love to do, or can say my foundation is love to do these kind of various works. One more thing, like you were telling me about banning this plastic and polybag. So we keep on moving few drives, and we educate people that how polybags are harmful for us. Like we are getting cancer from these polybags. These polybags are harmful for cattle as well. These piles of these polybags, they are not good for the motherland as well. So they are creating land pollution, air pollution, as well as water pollution too. Apart from this, actually we have encouraged sports activities as well among the youth by organizing events like marathon, kabaddi, kho, the games which are connected to our roots, to our land only. As we all know that in Olympics, India has won n number of medals, and in past few years we have like our stars. They are shining continuously. So I do believe that our youth has the ability to reach heights and become shining stars for our nation. About cultural activities, like you have asked, in pursuit of replicating Western values or civilization, I would say, we are alienating our own cultural values and beliefs. And we are forgetting that we belongs to the oldest civilization of this universe, that is Arya civilization, or we can say कि जो सिंधु सभ्यता जो in Hindi we can say. So we belongs to that civilization. Somehow we are forgetting that. So we keep on doing all the cultural activities which are connected to our roots.
Speaking of social services, you were not quiet during the first wave of the pandemic. You had donated generously to the PM CARES Fund. You had contributed and participated in providing ration kits in slums during the donation drives. Taking into account the impact that the pandemic had to businesses, how were you able to provide for all of this financially?
Actually, Rafia, when a nation was facing crisis and citizens were not able to meet their minimum necessities as well, as we all know that 12 crores of people lost their employment during that tough time. None was left untouched at the work front, and neither was I. I was overwhelmed by our Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi, and I was influenced by his initiative and made a very small contribution to PM Relief Care Fund to the best of my ability for my people who were facing problem at that time. I distributed ration kits along with few of my friends from our personal savings. And as for me, helping these vulnerable people was much more important than any kind of financial aspect.
I hear you talk about all of these initiatives that you've taken, and the social services, and it makes me, and I'm pretty sure that I'm speaking here with the viewers in mind and also myself. But when the second wave hit, many of us were driven to just protect our own and kind of just survive, because we were also impacted by this. And we just were left thinking. So what was it that compelled you to, start acting and stop thinking?
Yeah, Rafia, it's quite embarrassing question or embarrassing time for the whole nation. As we know that second wave of COVID left everyone in shock. When people of nation were dying because of lack of oxygen, whole the system was get collapsed. Not just oxygen, other medical facilities, or can say ki instruments were not easily available at that time. It completely stayed me as an individual where I felt helpless actually, and I was unable to help people in such a terrible condition or in such a terrible state when government was focusing just on metropolitan cities just because of these n number or lots of casualties. And to avoid such a situation in my area or in my village or nearby villages, I went back to my village at that time in during the second wave of COVID, and I have educated people how to take proper precautions. So at least I can save my people. So, and I have raised consciousness among individual. If anyone is infected there is no need to hide these things because people were not even disclosing their COVID results and all. So I started it with finding ways to stop traffic in government hospital of my area, or can say city hospitals of my area. So I have contacted youth of different villages, and approximately we have formulated a team in 35 villages. So we were able to arrange concentrators, we were able to arrange this apna thermometers, oxygen cylinders, their refilling and all. So that was my basic idea behind this. And in these villages, home isolation was encouraged at that time because hospital beds were full. Hospitals were also running this lack of oxygen and other medical facilities as well. So I have encouraged them, and a self-test kit was provided to them because no one was keen to do their RT-PCR and all. They were not they were afraid to disclose their COVID results as well. So in these respective villages, we have done a lot which they could use to test themselves whatever they are infected or not. The patients suffering from asthma were also treated. Visited patients at their home. Some people helped us in arranging steamers, and I would like to say that lot of youth came forward with me, and they have arranged medicines, they have arranged concentrators, oxygen cylinders as well. So a lot of youth came forward and joined that movement, and we were able to minimize the traffic coming to these city hospitals or these government hospitals in nearby area. Hence the casualty ratio over there that dropped down within 4 or 5 days because we were providing all these basic facilities in their villages. So we have stopped that traffic. So I want to acknowledge the youth comparison with nearby area from rural background or youth from rural background. They have something in them. They have trusted me, they have participated in this movement. A lots of patients were suffering from asthma as well at that time. So if they are coming to the hospital, then but obvious they are going to get in touch with these infected people or infected patients. So just to treat those patients, so we have provided like concentrators and all in these villages as well. So many youth came forward and they have joined this movement, and they have provided steamers and all. Just because of this youth, we were able to minimize the traffic that's coming to the government hospital or to the city hospital in nearby areas. I want to acknowledge the youth who really participated in this movement and who have trusted me and supported me in various manners in my area, or can say in my districts, or can say from those villages. Not only Bhavya Foundation, these teams have done all this. Actually, the youth of these villages were so cooperative, Rafia, as they have helped in all my efforts. And with the concentrated efforts, we were able to avoid a drastic situation in my villages, or can say in nearby areas of my villages, or can say from my tehsil. We even provided milk in hospitals to these COVID patients as it's immunity booster for them. At that difficult time, like not only me or my foundation, like a lot of youth came forward and who have joined this movement and who have done a tremendous job.
With having done so much in these humanitarian causes, we do wish you would continue. Do you have any plans on how to integrate your businesses with these social services?
Rafi, actually, to survive in this materialistic world, everyone needs financial resources. And I can say I'm very passionate about my business or about my ventures, and I always try to make a healthy balance between among my business and these social activities without any compromise too. I like to do various social activities which I am doing since my childhood, or can say ki, which I am doing since past 1.5 decade. It really satisfies my soul. So I have received everything from this motherland. It's my sole responsibility uh, that along with reaping benefits from this motherland, or can say from this nation, I must return my due to this country, or can say to this land, to the best of my abilities.
What areas do you specifically see that require attention in terms of social services?
Rafia, an issue that is social as well as political as well. I think that the need of the that youth of the country is made socially conscious that casteism divides the society and only brings instability in the nation. So, in my views, it's the biggest attention, or can say biggest concern for not only for me, for the youth of the country. So, I would like to point only this thing that casteism must not be there in our nation or in our blood or in the youth of this country.
If there was one heartwarming story that you could share with us that imbibes all the reasons that you got into social services and humanitarian causes, what would you share with us?
Rafia, as such, there is no particular story who made me to get into social services, but helping people is somehow it's into my blood, from largely from my mother's side. But yeah, I would love to narrate a story. I do remember approximate 10 years back, when I was working with a UK-based company that is a chain of hospitals. So that was my first salary, and that was hefted as well. So I planned to purchase a new car at that time after drawing that salary. So after getting my salary, when I was moving out of the hospital, I saw an old woman sitting on the ground weeping outside the ICU. ICU that was neonates ICU, neonatal ICU, we can say that's an ICU. I asked the reason behind. I was curious to know that why she was crying or why she was weeping. She told me that she cannot afford the bill of her grandson who was hospitalized there in the ICU of that hospital where I was working. So she was not able to pay bills anymore for the treatment of her grandson. Her grandson was fighting for his life, and he was on ventilator at that time, and he would have resulted his death. So at that very moment I went to the billing counter actually, and I have cleared all the dues of that baby or that lady. So at that time I was scared to tell this thing to my parents, as I have given all my salary to that lady. So I was little bit of scared, and I was scared to tell this thing to my mom, or can say to my family, as really they were just waiting for my new car. So I was so like in evening when I have called my parents, or I have called my mom now. So I narrated the complete incidents to her, and she just said, "Beta, Shabas," and I am really blessed to have such kind of parents, and thankful to that Almighty God that I got these kind of parents.
That's an incredible story. And Mr. Saharan, I've actually had the privilege of meeting you over such an act of just goodwill and, not thinking about anything else, and supporting the needy when they needed it most. And I'm not sure if you recall, but I had said it then, and I will say it now, that I believe the world needs more people like you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for everything that you do to support the less fortunate. It's again, congratulations on receiving this award. I also want to thank all of our viewers for tuning in and watching this. My name is Rafia Ali, and this was sponsored by YUVA, Youth for Unique and Visionary Action. Thank you.